Hello everybody! Generation Jumble Season 3 is here, and we have a ban already? So quickly? Okay, I say so quickly, but technically, this is the format's been here for like almost a week at this point. But that doesn't really matter, because TAPU KOKO was literally banned day 1. It was that good. But how exactly? Because obviously, when I did my video on TAPU KOKO, I figured it was amazing. And I don't doubt that. It would be great in just, regular Gen 1 OU. But holy crap, this thing was so unreasonable in this meta. And there's a few reasons for that. Before going over why TAPU KOKO was so busted, I think you first need to figure out which Pokemon are going to be here for Generation Jumble Season 3. Now this season is Summertime 11. We had a council meeting where we went over both of these, or most of them I mean. So you can watch that video if you'd like to see our thoughts for most of these Pokemon. But the roster for Season 3 is TAPU KOKO, TAPU Fini, TAPU Buwu, TAPU Lele, Halasan, Alolan Executor, Alolan Raichu, Hammerupt, Ludicolo, Solrock, Lunatone, Volbeat, Gastrodon, Sawsbug, and Vanillux. Notice anything in particular? There's a bit of a pattern, as you can probably tell. We got some fairy types, but the fairy typing is literally irrelevant outside of Executor's Dragon Hammer. But we have we have 3 ground types. We have 3 grass types, and we have, 2 new electrics. So, you could probably tell by just having, adding, some of these types, we definitely buffed some things. The electric type is definitely buffed, and grass, I would say, is significantly buffed. So that alone is already going to make a big deal when it comes to how things can change in the meta. And TAPU KOKO is just basically unreasonable. Because I don't think you guys realize just how dangerous this guy is with Thunderbolt, Nature's Madness, and Hyper Beam. Because normally in regular Gen 1 OU, there is only one Pokemon that has a halving move, and that's Raticate with Super Fang. And that ability is so good, it gives it a niche, despite its stats being absolutely terrible, and having no way whatsoever to fight Gengar. Now put that on a good Pokemon. That alone would already make TAPU KOKO great, but it has the exact same speed stat as Jolteon. It has a high attack stat, and while it may have Hyper Beam as its only real physical move, it doesn't care. Because guess what? Nothing really wants to take Nature's Madness into a Thunderbolt or Hyper Beam. Keep in mind with 95 special attack, that's as strong as Jinx is special. So, maybe not as strong as a Stab Blizzard, but a Stab Jinx Ice Beam is terrifying. And it's more terrifying when you have just an ungodly crit rate. So, what can withstand Nature's Madness plus anything? And the answer is nothing really. Because Nature's Madness into Hyper Beam kills Chansey. Nature's Madness and a Thunderbolt can kill a lot of things, but if it doesn't kill, a crit certainly will. And notice how we don't even have Thunder Wave on this guy. TAPU KOKO stays on the field, and he just revenge kills everything. It's to the point where you don't even bother using Thunder Wave, because using Agility to speed past that Paralysis debuff is by far the best thing you can be doing. Because you are just nothing can slow down TAPU KOKO. And by the way, 2 Nature's Madness into a Hyper Beam kills right on. Not that that matters, because like I said, the format changes everything. Alolan Executor has a lot of options up with the physical and special side. Camera Up is not going to do much. But Ludicolo, Sawsbug, Vanillux? Rhydon doesn't want to do anything in this format. There is only one Pokemon that can always reliably stand up to TAPU KOKO, and that's Palossand. Palossand is already just the better Rhydon, because instead of the rock typing, you have the ghost typing. And the moves it has are really good. It has a reliable recovery and shore up, which is something that most of these other ground types wish they had. It has Earthquake. Usually for a special move, the best thing you have is Psychic. You technically have Amnesia, but Hypnosis is significantly better. This is the only thing that can take on Tapu Koko, since with Shore Up, you could always heal off the damage from Nature's Madness, and then both Thunderbolt and Hyper Beam you're just completely immune to. Which, that alone sounds pretty bad if 2 Pokemon are absolutely mandatory. But, like I said, there are grass types. Woody Koho is a water grass type with Razor Leaf and Blizzard. That's terrifying. Not to mention, if you really wanted to, it has stuff like Surf, Hydro Pump, Sword Stance, Hyper Beam, Body Slam. That's not very fun to go up against. Sawsbug here is honestly in many ways well, I don't even want to say a worse Tauros, because it's not like Persian, where it's strictly worse. It has the exact same attack stat, but not only does it have Hyper Beam, but with ground types being better, you also have stuff like Gastrodon in the mix. The grass type is valuable for a resistance, and has a signature in Hornleech, which isn't, like, super great, but you sometimes use it. But even if you don't, it shows a grass type that can deal with, some of these other threats. So, if your team's already just Tapu Koko, Palisand, and then the grass type of your choice, using the counter of the best Pokemon and always using the counter of the counter, that does not sound like a very good meta. Now does it? And that is because it is not. Not at all. But it gets even worse. Because Tapu Koko is so good, you honestly consider using other electric types alongside it. Alolan Raichu has also managed to be pretty good, and it has really good coverage. Like it has Thunderbolt and Psychic for stab moves, which that alone is just amazing. And it has higher speed than the regular Raichu, and actually has a chance to survive Rhydon's Earthquake. But it also gets Surf. That's kind of insane. Obviously it gets, what's it called? Thunder Wave. But another move it has that most people don't realize is Sing. So, Alolan Raichu is just a really good lead, because not only can it do standard paralysis plays like, Starmie or anything else can do, but Sing can just get people out of nowhere, and it's incredibly dangerous. Even without that though, Psychic alone would give Alolan Raichu great coverage in order to fight some of the ground types. Because the ground types, especially something like Rhydon, don't have high special. But with Surf, it hits so hard. And many things don't want to deal with it. So just using 2 electric types is already great. Because you probably have a grass type or a water type to take care of your, electric counter anyways. And some people, myself included, even want the extra mile to add a 3rd electric type. With Alolan Raichu, Tapu Koko, and Zapdos, and then just 1 ground type and then 1 grass type of your choice, there's honestly not a lot of things that can take care of that. As long as your electric types have some sort of coverage, which in this format they do, you can do a lot with that. You take care of their 1 ground type and you can just overpower them. It also helps that all of these guys are just incredibly fast. This is why the council almost unanimously agreed for Tapu Koko to get banned. I was neutral on it, because honestly, even though I admit it was super broken, and I do think it was the right call, I honestly had fun using 3 electric types. And even though Tapu Koko was banned, I'm still doing that by replacing Tapu Koko with Jolteon. Yeah, or I'm not going to say it's about as good as it sounds, because some of you might think it sounds better or worse, depending on who you are. So I have a few replays to show you guys. Also, sorry that most of these are, blank when it comes to the moveset. I'll be most likely talking about each of these guys as time goes on. But most of these will probably have their own dedicated video. One more thing before going to the replays, however. We are hosting a tournament on July 1st. If you would like to be a part of that, join the Discord server immediately, and then we will tell you exactly what to do. In this format, I promise you, it's going to be very fun. I'm going to show you a few videos, or a few replays I mean, where Tapu Koko was in the meta, and you can see just the effect it had on others. I'm going to show you some videos, or again, replays, sorry, I can't talk today. I'm going to show you some replays of what I've been trying to do afterwards, because I'm still liking using like an electric team. And I'm going to show you one video people did in Ubers, because even in Ubers in this format, Tapu Koko is just amazing. First off, we have Cyber DJ versus Sotina, two fellow council members. Now, I know some people like use me as like background noise, so I'm sorry if like just trying to. I'm going to mostly just react to this as it happens, but don't worry. Like if there's some things I want to talk about, I will pause it and just give you more insight about what's really going on here. But we start off with both the leads paralyzing each other. Sotina leading with Moltres, which I'm just gonna tell you right now is probably not gonna be very popular. Executor, on the other hand, it's become one of the best Pokemon ever. Cyber DJ goes in the Victory Bell. Zam blocks the Sleep, but now it's getting Wrap Locked, so that's not very good. There's Palisand, and while it's very annoying, by far, Palisand versus Tapu Koko is one of the best things. It's like the most common thing you would see before the ban. And even though I'm not a huge fan of Amnesia, it definitely does have its merits. I just think Hypnosis is always going to be better, because I feel like Palisand, you just gotta want opportunities where it can do whatever it wants, because the opponent is forced to switch. And that's quite literally the ideal situation to use Hypnosis, because you're not suffering if you miss it. Get what I'm saying? Let's just keep going on with this battle. And we're just gonna put this on fast, because this is one of the matches that happened before the season even started. Because this season, out of any other season, by far had the most amount of playtesting beforehand. But I think that's mostly a consequence of just how bad Generation Jumble Season 2 was. Since for Season 2, it dragged on so long, obviously some people just really wanted to, move on to something else. And I don't blame you guys for doing that. Also, like, Executor with Rest is something that Sotina has done a lot. But yeah, here it is. Here is that classic, you go into one of them, you switch into, like, most likely Palisand. Now, going for Psychic was actually the right call there for Sotina. And if you get a crit, Tapu Koko isn't that bad. But, I've had a lot of people complain to me before, like, the season started. So many people just said, it's just switching to, you have Tapu Koko out, and you switch to the counter, and you switch to the counter, to that counter. Sotina managed to do pretty well here. And honestly, it is because of Moltres. I think Sotina definitely saw the read that, like, using a counter for the ground type is a good call. So maybe Moltres couldn't be used more. It might still be used because some of the grass types, such as Executor, are still really good. Same thing with Sawsbuck, and I don't know about Woody-Ko-Oh. I've used Woody-Ko-Oh, and I'm pretty sure you will see at least one replay today where I tested. I don't like it that much. I'm not sure what it is, but it never does as well as I expected it to do. It doesn't change the fact that others are just amazing. Just like actually amazing. And I don't know how I feel about Cyber's triple grass team. Maybe if you use like Sawsbuck instead of Victory Belt, maybe be a little better. Because I still have no idea how Victory Bell managed to go into OU. It's still just absolutely insane. But I'm pretty sure this is just the game. Oh, no, you missed. Yeah, Sotina's just garbage. Funny. There's KOKO. There's a crit. The crit matters. And Woody-Ko-Oh can't do much either. So that was definitely game of all time. Now, I wanted to use Tapu Koko at least 3 different times, so I'll show you some of my matches. Starting off, me versus Shelly. By the way, prepare to see me fight Shelly a lot. But Raichu lead was, honestly, I think even without Tapu Koko, it is one of the best things around. I just feel like Raichu just feels like it can accomplish so much, and I really like it. It's probably my favorite new Pokemon added, if I'm being honest with you. And like, you saw Windtone there, the only thing it can really do is just Hypnosis exactly. But I guess that's better than Soul Rock, which only has maybe Fire Spin, but let's be real, no one's using it at all. But still, but even there, like, granted, Shoei was using a very interesting team, for lack of better words. But even there, like, with like no like real electric counter, they can do a lot of damage to your team. I use Woody KOKO, and even the mirrors seem very weird to me. I was trying to fish for a paralysis, didn't get it. Went back into Zapdos, because I was pretty sure a Drill Peck would, if not kill without a crit, just do a lot of damage. And if it gets camera rubbed, Drill Peck does a lot. Like, actually look at that. With just 2 Drill Pecks, camera rubbed is almost dead. Luckily I did read the explosion, so I managed to sack off my camera rubbed. They go on to Starmie, but I was pretty sure that Zapdos could survive a Blizzard there. Which didn't even matter, because I think they just didn't have it in the first place. But I tried calling they were going to switch, they didn't. I get hit with a crit, but I still survived, hilariously enough. And with Zapdos, like, keep in mind, look at this. This is what Raichu and Zapdos have been doing for the most part. I have not even used my last electric type in Tapu Koko. Well, 130 speed. Yeah, what exactly was Shoei going to do here? Like, there's Tauros, but even in a worst case scenario, Koko can always do half of the opponent's damage. That's just insane. The Koko gets killed there, I have my own Tauros. And I forgot I did that, but yeah, I'm as you can see, I'm just objectively hilarious. I needed to go for Hypnosis against 10 HP right on. It was definitely something. But here's my match against Siltina. The exact same team. I won Raichu. I know it doesn't do I can't think of a single lead it's bad against. Because or I guess there's been some lead Executor. But even then, Paralysis is still Paralysis. And I feel like Sing is still very dangerous. I'm not sure if Executor wants to risk that. But at the same time, I'm not sure if Raichu wants to risk. Or probably does. Because Raichu is like Starmie, where it's really fast. And usually your fast mons are the ones you prefer that, wake up. Not to mention with Raichu being an electric psychic type, not only is the electric typing just more valuable defensively, because of just how good the Thunderbolt users are, but obviously Psychic in Gen 1 is as good as ever. Like, you're going to be able to just sit pretty comfortably for a lot of Pokemon. I think that's actually part of the reason why I've been seeing so many Executors with Double Edge. Because Executor just needs something to fight against Raichu. And this is, that's the only thing it really has. And, yeah. I'm trying to think about what else I can say about Raichu. There's probably more I could say later. Because I do think I'm going to need to justify myself in saying Raichu is still one of the best Pokemon without KOKO. Because I've seen some people, mainly Cyber DJ, feel like they thought that, let's say, Raichu should have done a lot better. I'm the opposite. I honestly think Alolan Raichu already exceeded my expectations, despite me already having pretty high hopes for it. But that's just my opinion. There's that switching I was telling you about. Switching the Palossand to the KOKO counter, or switching it to the Palossand counter. There was a lot of replays that were just like that. If you go on my server and go in the gaming replays, you will see some of those. But it wasn't very fun. It really wasn't. Yeah, so I decided to stay in here just to go for a Paralysis. But it's the same thing. Or no, not Paralysis, I was predicting a switch. Or, that's basically the same thing, let's be real. But remember how I told you about Hypnosis? That was a perfect example of it. They go back in their Moltres, but I'm just the greatest player alive and I managed to get the crit. Obviously, I'm so cool. I paralyzed the Chansey. The Chance, my surprise, is Zapdos just gets in a lot of work. Full paralysis on Chansey, another paralysis, and then, a crit with Drill Peck. This Zapdos is on fire. But it's really not fun switching to the Palossand every single time. It's really not. But you know, like, at least it won't be as omnipresent anymore with KOKO banned. But I couldn't tell you how well it will be used. But overall, like, this match, I think I'll be real, most of this match I was pretty worried. I felt like I could have things out of control, but I was scared that Satina was gonna, you know, beat me. But I ended up getting pretty lucky. I can't really deny that. And once again, Zapdos is just putting in so much work. I love Zapdos so much. You guys have no idea. Gen 1 Zapdos is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. Like, I'm almost considering liking it more than I like Tauros, which is just, as you can imagine, being the Gen 1 OU guy, one of just my favorite things ever. I went in the Tapu Koko here because I figured just halving its damage would just help it go in Tauros range, which even though Koko isn't doing the main killing itself, it's good for things just like that. Also, maybe Hyper Beam would have been better there, I don't know, but it doesn't matter. The game is just over. So here's another one, and this is the last one with KOKO, not counting the Ubers game, I'm pretty sure. It was me versus Cyber DJ. They went with Lead Executor, which is sadly one of the things that does beat Alolan Raichu pretty well. But luckily they only went with Stun Spore, which is, I got pretty lucky with. But what I wasn't expecting was for Double Edged, like to, or should have been that surprised, considering Raichu only has base 50. What's it called, defense? But still, even when paralyzed, it lowered the special there. I don't know what I was really expecting, to be honest. But either way, it still worked out for me. The Palossand switch in, because Chansey got put to sleep. That's pretty nice. I have Raichu as a, you know, a sack. But luckily I didn't need to do that. Leech Seed, I don't even think Leech Seed's that good. But I've seen a decent amount, and I could even tell you why. I decided to stay in with Chansey here, maybe get a special drop. And I didn't care that much about the Leech Seed healing. I go into Tauros, because what exactly it wants to switch into at the moment. I went for Blizzard, since at this point, with how much Palossand there is, it was probably the best bet. I unfortunately only went for, what's it called? Hyper Beam. But they didn't paralyze, they just went for, what's it called? Why am I brain blank? I just saw a Thunderbolt, critical Thunderbolt. Also, fun fact, Agility Dragonite is legitimately one of the better counters to Tapu Koko. I don't even remember who was the one that cooked that up, but I was shocked when they used the reasoning. I unfortunately don't remember what it is at the moment. Also, look at me being a Chad getting a crit against the Amnesia. And unfortunately, with my own Tapu Koko on the back, even with being at 1 HP, that Palossand is still alive. But in all honesty, that is kind of funny, if I'm being real with you. But once again, Zapdos putting in so much work. That's like the funny part. Like, Tapu Koko is just such a threat, but even Zapdos on its own can just damage so much. Electric types of coverage is honestly so busted. It really does make me glad Gen 1 OU, regular Gen 1 OU, is the way that it is. Because it's just, look at this is ridiculous. And obviously, Cyber would get his one Pokemon that is at 1 HP to be put to sleep. That's like the best thing he ever asked for. But there's the Dragonite, there's the Critical Rap, giving me PTSD from Season 2 when Greg Gusto killed me with Tentacruel with Rap. But you know, that's neither here or there. I don't have anything else interesting to say about this match in particular. Other than wait, no, I just said, or I guess I was curious to see if Nature's Madness would kill here. And it did not. I'm not sure what I was expecting. I think I was just curious. How many turns was that? That was 3 sweep turns of just Palossand. It's thank God it has such a good typing. If it was a rock type instead of ghost, I would have been able to kill it there. Which is funny. But it was not helping at the moment. In all honesty, I don't know what the fate of Palossand's gonna be. I think now there's a decent shot that Rhydon could be good, since Tapu Koko's out of the picture. But I couldn't tell you. Also, I forgot that Ludicolo had Blizzard, so I could have killed this Dragonite if I wasn't dumb. And maybe the match could have been differently. But to be honest, with how many more Pokemon Cyber had over me, it was probably over. Probably. Trying to go for a freeze. Don't really get it. And this match is... Oh yeah, that happened. Yeah, you can probably guess how the rest of this goes. So after KOKO got banned, I still really wanted to use Triple Electric. So I figured, okay, I can still try to go for Jolteon. I think Jolteon can still be decent in this. Because, like, as you saw with those replays, Zapdos on his own was already super good. Tapu Koko was just an unstoppable late game cleaner, with being able to have damage to everything and having a very strong physical and special move. But the difference between Alolan Raichu and Zapdos is that they have actual coverage. And technically Jolteon has coverage, which you are going to see in this video. But there's Raichu being put to sleep, and with, you know, like, sorry, I cannot talk. That's, Gastrodon, which honestly I am very excited for. I think Gastrodon, I don't know how good it's going to be, because Palossand's really good competition, and Ludicolo is really good water competition. And yeah, there's Pin Missile. I know that's funny, because I spent so many videos just trash talking Pin Missile. But I do think it might genuinely be worth it in this format. But that's because there is just more than just one bug weak Pokemon. Not only is Exeggutor more common, not only are there other grass types like Ludicolo and Sawsbuck, but even more psychic types like Mo and Raichu here. It only has 50 base defense. So is Pin Missile good? No. But the point of it is just to mildly punish the grass types at worst. At best, you're getting a crit and hitting for 5. But obviously that's not super likely, but you don't even care at that point. Since you're mostly just semi-punishing, you know, like, let's say Exeggutor switch-ins. Or against Raichu, like, Pin Missile is legitimately the best way you probably could 1v1 it, in all honesty. Which you might see here. I forget, like, oh yeah, you do see it here. You see the crit hitting for, I believe, 3, killing off the Raichu. And thankfully, with the great crit rate, it might be worth it. Another reason why is because I feel like Rest on Jolteon just isn't it at the moment. It's one thing if you're just stalling out Zapdos, but you're not really stalling out Alolan Raichu, nor are you stalling out the grass types and the ground types. So I feel like just using a more offensive version of Jolteon with Double Kick, Thunderbolt, Thunder Wave, and Pin Missile, I honestly think that's kind of better. But yeah, see there, that was really hitting for 5 on Exeggutor that was almost dead. Quadruple super effective. Very funny. But unfortunately, Sawsbuck did kill the Jolteon, so we didn't get to see the maximum funny. But it doesn't matter too much, because most of this battle was already mine. By the way, don't use Hornleech on Sawsbuck unless it's actually a ground type, because Sawsbuck only has 60 special. There goes that. Luckily, I have my own Tauros. So we have a good old-fashioned Tauros mirror right here. Pretty nice. And I'm pretty sure I'm the one that wins this exchange. Or first, I sacked off. Or I was gonna sack off Raichu, but it's funny. Yeah, there's Palossand. I'll admit I was a bit of a coward there. I'm not sure why they went for Earthquake, though. I'm pretty sure I was a misplay. But overall, this match wasn't that bad. And I'm not sure how I feel about Fire Blast in this meta for Tauros. I'll have to do some more testing to see if it's worth it or not. I guess there are more grass types, so maybe? But who knows? All I know is that Shelly was not going to beat me with a Sleeping Zapdos. Alright, we have... this is another one I did with Shelly, I'm pretty sure. This is when they use Lead Gengar instead. I just went for Psychic, since if I got a crit, that would have killed them. Raichu gets put to sleep. But being a Psychic type, I don't really care what they had, so I can just stay in. And even against Chansey, I felt like I felt pretty comfortable staying in, trying to burn at least a few sleep turns. So that's the 4th one. So at this point, I do have to switch, unfortunately. Go into Sawsbuck. Now, there is high jump kick on Sawsbuck, but I don't have it here. Sawsbuck is mainly just to... Oh, yeah, and Thunderwave. I forgot also Thunderwave. But Sawsbuck is just a better version of Persian, since it's a second Tauros, but it actually has Tauros' attack stat, which is just insanely good. Also, that Jinx's speed stat and crit rate, which is also just amazing. This doesn't do much here with Reflect. I do not have Sword Stance on this version, unfortunately, since at the moment I am unsure of how good Sword Stance on Sawsbuck actually is. Because I feel like it might be too frail to have a chance to pull off that. Not to mention with Tauros' like a stats. I feel like it's just, you would rather just go for that pure normal stab. But luckily, Raichu woke up. You can start going for Psychics. I believe I get at least one special drop before Raichu gets taken out, if I remember correctly. Either way, though, it's still putting in work, I would argue. And Vanillux is another Pokemon I am really interested in. Vanillux, I think, is going to be very underrated this season, but good. I'm going to argue that it's really good. They tried paralyzing Zapdos, but I get the crit because I'm the greatest player alive. By the way, I will be doing a council meeting where I'll be doing a prediction for the viability ranking for all the Pokemon. So that should be fun. Hopefully you're there for that. Unfortunately, Vanillux is struggling against this Palossand before the freeze. But with the freeze, I am just living large. I can go for Reflect, but Zastri was the one to point out to me that Vanillux has Acid Armor, which is just better. So I apologize for being dumb. But then again, I guess... Or, no, there is no benefit, is there? Whatever. Either way, like, there's not much Moltres can do against Jolteon. Fire Blast hits pretty hard, but Thunderbolt hits harder. There's Thunderbolt. Sawsbuck can resist it, unfortunately. But there's not much they can do against Zapdos. They can hit hard with normal stab. But Zapdos is the champ, and he survives a crit Hyper Beam. And a crit Drill Peck hits a little bit harder. There's Moltres, but Zapdos can take it out again. In comes Gengar. I just decided to go for a attack, which ended up working pretty well. All they have left is Tauros, and I can paralyze it. Zapdos gets taken out. And by the way, this is yet another game where Zapdos is just the absolute MVP. I go for a Thunderbolt, that does a lot of damage. And my last Pokemon is Tauros, so obviously they were not going to win that. So yeah, I believe I have one more where I tested out the new team. Yeah, it was against Zach and Theas, and then I'll show you a match between Roscato and Sutina. Now, Zach went with Gastrodon, which maybe could be a good anti-lead, but against some things like Executor, you just get hard countered really badly. So I don't know how good it is. Executor, though, I do think might be better than Starmie this season. Grass is just so stupidly good with electric and ground types everywhere. And water types, actually, yeah, and water types. They have Ludicolo. They go into their Snorlax, which I'm not sure why they did that. I just got a free, like, sleep in. Oh, by the way, some things like the Tapus, like Tapu Bulu, I think is just not seeing play. Neither will Tapu Fini, or... I don't think Tapu Lele is going to be that good either. Because I think you're using Psychic types. You're either going to use the ones that are already good, like Starmie, Alakazam, or Jinx. Or you're going to use the new one, like Raichu. I just don't see any reason to use Tapu Lele. But there's my Vanillux again. I'm going to go for Reflect. I feel pretty comfortable now. Vanillux can just get a lot of damage in. Because we're both Ice Beam and Blizzard. Both of those will hit pretty hard on basically anything. And worst case scenario, I can always blow up with Explosion. I think that's pretty neat. If you disagree with me, you're just wrong. Isn't doing that much against Amnesia Wax, unfortunately. But again, worst case scenario, I can always just go for Boom. That missed. So it's getting a little scary. So I just go for Explosion right there. It's just enough to where I can revenge kill with basically anything. I just had to go with Raichu. Snorlax gets taken out. They go into their own Raichu. I switch in the Palossand. Palossand can take on Raichu. Minus Surf. Surf does a lot of damage. I miss Hypnosis. I get hit with a crit. So that's sad. But I have Jolteon. So I can paralyze the Raichu. Psychic honestly does like nowhere near as much as I thought. But there's Pin Missile. And yeah, if it only hits twice, it's not doing anything really. And the fact that it's 85 accuracy is so annoying. But like, I feel like the gamble here is worth it since a critical Thunderbolt would probably hit more. But I almost feel like Pin Missile is more consistent here. But I don't know. Either way, that it did manage to do really good damage to Raichu there. And my own Raichu was able to revenge go pretty easily. I was scared, so I decided to paralyze the Raichu instead, or the Gengar. And this honestly is a pretty scary situation to be in. Luckily, my last Pokemon is in fact Zapdos. So I go for Drill Peck, I don't get the kill. They try going for Leech Seeds, so honestly don't know why. Ice Beam, or I guess Ice Beam only does like a... Yeah, it only does like a third, it looks like. So that's probably the reason why. But even though, like, Raichu is asleep, I still feel pretty comfortable with this. So I can take out Gengar and win the game. Now, you can let me know in the comments how you feel about Triple Electric. But I'm having a lot of fun using it, and I'm going to try to make it work for the tournament. Last but not least, let's see how good Tapu Koko does in Ubers, because it is banned. We have Elite Tapu Koko, which you definitely don't see every day. But considering just how good Tapu Koko is, I can definitely see it. So Tina goes in the Mew. They go in the Palossand, which is very interesting. I'm not sure how I'll do that against Mew of all things, since Earthquake hits pretty hard. But Mew gets put to sleep. This is huge. And now Palossand can heal up. And Mew has just got to sit there and hope... Or no, it's actually very bulky. It's probably fine. I'm actually surprised that they switched out of there. Psychic does a heck of a lot of damage to Palossand, who surprisingly stayed in. They go into Chansey, and Mewtwo recovers, goes into Snorlax. Snorlax doesn't get frozen, I don't know. It does get frozen. Okay, that sucks. They go into their own Snorlax. This is going terrible for Sotina. There goes Body Slam, doing a good amount of damage to Snorlax. In comes Tapu Koko, who's still asleep. This could be anyone's game. And unlike the other replays, this is the only one I did not actually watch beforehand. That was kind of hype right there. In comes Mewtwo again, gets the crit. Palossand is taken out. They go into full HP Snorlax, which Mewtwo fears. Oh, by the way, next season it's gonna be Ho and Takeover for Ubers, the first generation Jumble Ubers format, and I think that should be pretty fun. But Tapu Koko paralyzes the Mew. That's very annoying. And now it can just go for Nature's Madness, try to fish for Paralysis. Earthquake hits pretty hard though. As you can definitely see, Tapu Koko is definitely fitting right in Ubers, all things considered. This is not bad in the slightest. Now, there goes Nature's Madness. Does, like, halves Mew's HP. You're trying to get the crit, you finally get it. Mew gets taken out. In comes Snorlax. Nature's Madness means Mewtwo does not fear Snorlax anywhere near as much. You go into Mewtwo. Self-destruct here? Yes, you do. But Mewtwo survives. You go into your own Mewtwo. Sotina is lucky and managed to actually go first. So now we have the classic Mewtwo mirror. But Scald has the early advantage, as you can see there. Or actually, it didn't really matter. It doesn't look like. Because, you know, it's still a speed tie. But there's Thunderbolt. Rescaldo went for with the fourth Amnesia, which is actually not optimal. Because you have a big, there's a big risk now of just going too far and having the stat overflow. Which, yeah, that's very dangerous. You gotta look out for that. So Tito might be able to actually take over, honestly. And these crits are very annoying. It's kind of funny, though. There goes Amnesia. Another crit. Holy crap. There goes Thunderbolt. Doesn't get the kill, unfortunately. And I'm gonna put this on fast because I made my point. Last thing I'll say, like, obviously, like, this type of Generation Jumble video is very different. I have, like, I tried to make this way more podcasty as opposed to, you know, my usual videos. Or not, no, as opposed to the usual Generation Jumble videos. I'm trying to make these more like my what if videos, where it's just a lot of talking, you know? Do you like it? Do you think this works? Let me know what you think in the comments. I really hope this is working out. And I actually am enjoying this more than just reacting, in all honesty. So, this is another reason you join the server, by the way. Because now, I won't be reacting to the entire tournament. I'm only going to reacting to things when there's something to talk about, you know. I mean, I'm either going to be live reacting, or I'll be doing something like this. Which I feel like it will just be better, overall. Even if the view count won't change that much. But yeah. I had fun. This is a fun video. And I'm going to try my best to do weekly or daily uploads again. Going to be real. There wasn't any problems this time. I've just been feeling lazy. So yeah, I apologize for that. Slack back, I know. But still, I think Sotina won this. But I'm just going to put this in hyper fast. See how long this actually goes on for. This is going to be your standard Ubers game where it goes on for over 100 turns. Let's find out. But the Snorlax is frozen, and the Mew is asleep. But this Mewtwo is like... Or no, it has plenty of power points left. Holy crap. I forget just how crazy Gen 1 is. Ugh, I'm skipping a few turns. Okay, we do get past 100 turns. Funny. How long does this go on for? Holy crap. Okay, there's Chansey versus Mewtwo. Widescreen Chansey, which is you do see in Ubers. If you're still watching this, like, thank you. I'm not sure why you are, but I appreciate it. Hopefully, like, this video made the point about why Tapu Koko was too strong for the meta, and how even Ubers it can accomplish a lot. Okay, there's that. Okay, we're Scotty managed to win that. Funny. But thank you all for watching. Like, be sure to actually, if you want to join the tournament, please let me know. I will put the link. But, yeah, this is kind of a rushed ending, I guess. I don't have anything else to say. Season 3, let's hope it's better than Season 2. Well, now. This is Groundback, and I look forward to hearing from you.